on NBA Today, starting right now. Welcome into NBA Today. I'm George Sedano in for Malika Andrews alongside Chiney Ogwumike and Kendrick Perkins. We start with some major news out of Brooklyn. Let's dive right in. Nets star forward Kevin Durant said he will play tonight against the Miami Heat after missing a month and a half because of a sprained left MCL. Durant has not played since getting hurt in the Nets game back on January 15th, a win over the New Orleans Pelicans, and will obviously provide a huge lift for his team that went 5-16 in his absence. Without Durant on the floor, coupled with the trade of James Harden and the periodic absences of Kyrie Irving, the Nets have slid to 32-31, 8th place in the East. FYI, the last time the Nets were in first was January 22nd. Let's hear from KD now.
I feel energized. I feel grateful for the opportunity to play. Sucks being out and not being around the team and not going out there. I felt bad not being able to help and contribute and try to turn some things around for us. But get an opportunity tonight and hopefully moving forward where I can inject what I do into this team and hopefully provide some good results. Obviously, I know I can go out there and help, but I didn't want to hurt myself even more trying to go out there and be a superhero, just to be out there. But, I'm glad that I was able to get some time to work on my body, and the training staff did a great job of, working with me every day. And now I'm here and just see where I'm at after this game and just keep building.
All right, Chiney, let's start with you. The second KD steps foot back on the floor, does he regain the status of best player on the planet?
So I like to give players that are coming back from injuries some grace, a couple games to sort of find their rhythm. And most importantly, when you're a shooter, find your legs, right? Because your legs on your shot is exactly what you need. And that man is just an easy money sniper. So I would say I like to give him some grace. But what we do know from KD is anytime he steps on the floor, he's automatically top of the top when it comes to players in this league. So that injury, acclimation back to playing in a time period where right now playoff teams are trying to establish themselves with how they finish out the season. It may not be the easiest circumstance, but we know KD can do it. And I'd like to finish with this. He has the #1 usage on the Nets roster so far this season when he plays. So he's going to have the opportunity. It is a home game, meaning Kyrie is unavailable. So you can imagine that they're going to continue to look for him. So yeah, KD has always given us evidence to know that he's going to ball whenever he steps on the court.
Well, I don't know about the best player in the NBA, but I believe he's the best thing for the Brooklyn Nets.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So because of the position that they're in. But here's the thing. That part of the rest of the interview, at one point he had said he still feel pain. And so that bothered me, but for the simple fact that I don't know if we're going to get that KD that we saw come off the Achilles injury. I think right now it's to the point where he has to play through pain because of the position that the Brooklyn Nets are in. So do I have doubt that he could go out there and drop a 40-piece? No, I don't have doubt because we're talking about arguably the greatest scorer to ever touch the damn basketball. But that one part of the interview where he said he still have some pain, that raised the eyebrow for me.
Yeah, and I think we might even have these numbers. I mean, so far, with KD, they're 24-12. Without him, they're 8-19. And I think we're at that integral point, and this is it exactly there. Look at the win percentage, hovering around 30% without him. They have slid. We talked about it, Perk. When KD played, they were #1 in the East. He's seen them slide to where they could be in the play-in and, hopefully make a push for the playoffs. But, at the 8th seed, he knows now is the time to potentially have to put his team on his back and play through not being 100%
and then, of
based
course,
on those numbers.
The challenge here, look, is a tried and true theory. The biggest predictor of future injury is past injury, right? The body starts to break itself down some, and I think that becomes a bit of a challenge. And how do you manage that? Because he may have to play through pain for a long time moving forward because of all the injuries he's had.
And think about this for a minute, George, that the playoffs for them really has already started.
Yes.
Exactly.
They're fighting to get out of the play-in tournament for the simple fact that they don't want to go against a team like the Atlanta Hawks with a Trae Young that could light you up on any given night and send you home, or a rising or surging Charlotte Hornets. So KD knows the importance of actually getting out of this situation. But here's the thing, too. They have to come out and play playoff basketball. And it goes back to what Shanae said about those legs and what you said about the injury and things to that nature. And you heard him say it again on the interview. I want to see, well, we'll see how I feel after the night and go from there.
Yeah, it's going to be wild to see. Let's talk to our pal Nick Friedel, who joins us here now, who was at shoot-around this morning. So, Nick, Durant set to return tonight against the Heat. What's the feeling around Barclays, and what's the feeling around how many minutes he could play? Is there going to be a minutes restriction?
George, there's not going to be a minutes restriction. They're going to be in constant communication with Kevin. They're going to make sure he feels comfortable. And I want to really speak quickly to what Perk just said. Kevin said he was feeling pain during the streak. That's why he didn't come back. I think he's pain-free now. That's why he was being cautious, taking some extra time, because he knew when he came back on the floor, he had to come back at really close to 100% because they needed him so much. But the key here is the emotional lift he's going to bring. This team needs him desperately because they know what he can do from a scoring standpoint, but they know how much space he creates for everybody else. It was interesting the other day, I was talking to Seth Curry, and Seth was telling me he's been texting Steph about what it's like to play with KD, because this will be their first game together. Andre Drummond was laughing the other day when somebody said, hey, what do you expect from Kevin? He said, what do I expect from Kevin Durant? He's going to make everybody better. So this is a team that knows the presence that KD brings, and they're hopeful that he's going to hit the ground playing at that same level starting tonight and in the last 6 weeks of the regular season.
All right, Nick. So Durant had some comments on Ben Simmons, his newest teammate. His return is still up in the air, but what were Durant's thoughts on Ben?
He said he's in a really good place. And, George, that's important not only because of what happened in Philly, but it's the same message that's been coming out of this Nets organization since the trade went down. Everybody you talk to, players, coaches, people around the team, when you say Ben Simmons' name, they say he's happy and he's ready to roll when he comes back out there. Now, the key to this is Simmons has a little bit of a back issue as they've been trying to ramp him up. Sean Marks, the Nets GM, just went on an interview with Yes, the Nets television partner, and he said, we don't know when Ben's going to be back on the floor playing in games. We hope he's back at practice late next week. That is a warning sign because there was so much hope around him potentially playing in Philly next week against Harden. That's not going to happen. They don't know when Simmons is going to be back, but they're hopeful that mentally he's in a really good place. So when physically he's able to play a lot of minutes and get rolling again, they feel like they can still catch a rhythm going into the playoffs, even though there's a lot of doubt surrounding that narrative, as Kevin Durant mentioned this morning.
Okay, fair enough. Nick Friedel does a phenomenal job covering the Nets for us here at ESPN. Nets taking on the Heat. Them dudes from Dade County, as Perk likes to say. Thank you, Nick Friedel. I'll let him say that, not me. All right, moving on now to the game of the night last night. I don't want to mess with Jimmy Butler. A game that absolutely lived up to the hype and the billing. Bucks versus the gentleman from Dade County, the Heat. The Bucks outscored. By the way, the Bucks were down big in the fourth quarter. Let's start with the second half here into the fourth quarter. Giannis went to work here.
I mean, like 4 guys in the paint can't stop him.
Yeah, I mean, he split 2 defenders there at the rim, which is crazy. Now Drew Holiday getting some work. But Giannis with the cleanup?
I think they've done it collectively. The big 3 from the Milwaukee Bucks. That's how they got out of that hole.
Yep, Holiday hits the 3 there.
Oh, man, look at the divide right there.
By the way, Miami had done a great job, as they traditionally do with Giannis, through 3 quarters. They generally do a great job with him overall. There's Tyler Hero with the shot there.
Yeah, 30 piece.
To extend the Heat's lead. But Giannis in the fourth quarter was incredible. 13 points last night. And then the big turnover there by Tyler Hero. And Chris Middleton, a 3 in your face.
Money making
Middleton.
He may not come when you want him, but he's always on time.
So 1-point game here. Here comes the inbound. This is the second attempt at an inbound.
That's a foul.
Yeah.
But look, how bad do you want it? We talk about playoff basketball starting now. How bad do you want it? Look at both teams on the floor.
Yeah, but you can't tackle a person in basketball.
Eric Spoelstra not happy about that in the postgame as well. Here's the tip. So here it comes. Drew Holiday. Again, no Kyle Lowry in this game. Out for personal reasons. Gabe Vincent has to cover Drew Holiday, and he gets the bucket that gives them a win.
He was the X factor in the championship run, and he was the X factor down the stretch last night.
So the Heat try one last heave here with Hero. Short, and Milwaukee comes back and gets the win. Incredible stuff there by the champs. So here's how it went down the last 6.5 minutes or so, or 6 minutes and change of the fourth quarter. Milwaukee outscored Miami 21-6, held them to 3 field goal attempts and 4 turnovers in that comeback win. So Big Perk, let's start with you. The Bucks are the champs. They got the win in a close contested battle against a team that they have certainly had